to eat or not to eat. The safety of genetically modified organisms. Some of the things we will look at. What are GMOs and what are their benefits? What are some of the significant risks? What are some of the solutions? And what are some of the hazards of eating genetically modified organisms? And how does that outweigh the advantages? What are GMOs? GMO means genetically modified organisms. Why would you genetically modify anything? Well, for example, to gain more desirable characteristics, such as in purebred dogs, you might want to breed for different ear size, different tail length, different coat, smaller size overall, things like that. What does it affect? Grains, vegetables, fruits, and even livestock. What are some of the benefits? Higher yield which equals lower prices. GMOs can be disease resistant, which can counter crop loss and things like that. According to Walter DeJogue, a potato breeder and geneticist from Cornell University, over the next 40 years we'll need to increase our food production by 40% to feed the over 9 billion people that will be on Earth at that time. These food shortages will also cause prices to rise, and GMOs could be a solution to that. Some of the other benefits, it will give us the ability to grow in climates and temperature zones that foods would not have been able to be grown in without GMOs. And also GMOs can increase the nutritional value of some plants and vegetables, making a healthier product. According to the healthresearchfunding.org, GMOs have added health benefits such as higher vitamin and mineral values than the original plants would have had. What are some of the risks? GMOs are resistant to disease and pests, not immune. Mutations can develop in both diseases and pests that can overcome or counter the resistance that that things are modified for. For example, the cotton bollworm is developing immunities right now to the GMO cotton that was produced to make it resistant to this pest. And scientists believe that eventually the mutations will increase to the point that it'll make the GMO useless anyway. That all these diseases and pests that are trying to be prevented can eventually mutate and adapt to overcome them anyway. Another issue with modifying our foods is growth hormones. Some of the potential effects of this is obesity in children. Children today are taller and heavier than they were 40 years ago. An increase in cell growth, such things as tumors, cancers, and fatty tissues. Some people believe that the added growth hormones in our food is increasing these in individuals. The excess estrogen in males is also another concern. This can increase sex drive and fertility, and such things as chicken houses and other foods, or chickens and other foods, are being pumped full of estrogen right now to make them grow faster, and we're ingesting all these things. Antibiotics are another issue. Doctors are constantly warning about excess antibiotics and not wanting to prescribe them unless they're really needed for fear of creating a superbug. This could render critical medicines useless in generations to come in our children and things like that. The problem is the meat that we're eating is constantly being pumped full of these same antibiotics to produce healthier animals that grow faster and better, and then in turn we're eating these animals and ingesting the antibiotics anyway. Some of the solutions to this: we could produce for quality rather than quantity, which means not worry so much about producing greater yields, but concentrate more on the quality of the plant that we are growing. Farmers could grow heirloom plants, which are open pollinated instead of the GMO hybrids. As consumers, we could eat organically grown crops and meats instead of buying the supermarket GMOs and stuff that are readily available. we could avoid processed foods, both fast foods and prepackaged foods in stores. According to non-GMO project.org, 80% of American food is modified. So in my opinion, there might not be enough conclusive evidence to not using GMOs, but there's enough concern to cause doubt, and the risk outweigh the gain by far. But this is something you ultimately will have to decide for yourself.